Hey guys, so clearly I need to make a clarification here because last week I was very, very, very bad at saying what I wanted to say, as is apparent by my reaction to Spencer's video yesterday. I agree that the language, and just language in general, I suppose, does the job it's supposed to do well, because if it didn't, then we would move on to something else. If it didn't do the job it was supposed to do well enough for us, then we would do something else. We would have come up with something a long time ago, and I suppose that's what the evolution of language is all about. We're using more words and different words, getting rid of words that we don't use anymore to express things that we are feeling and expressing at that moment in time, and older things fall out of place, and so the language evolves, and blah blah blah. But if language wasn't working, then we wouldn't use it, and I agree with that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't use language, and I'm not saying that a language like the one in 1984 would be beneficial at all. I was just using that as an extremist example, which clearly did not come off correct. So, I agree that language is good, and it does its job well, but I suppose I agree with Katie that the job it has to do kind of sucks, and the way it has to do it kind of sucks. So if I may use an analogy like Spencer, suppose that you're going to a candy store which has 3 varieties of candy, and you're told that you can only choose one, but you have to choose one, so you have to go in there, pick one, and you can only take one. The choice isn't that difficult, because there's only 3 to choose from. But if I stick you in a candy store with 50,000 different kinds of candy that are all sort of similar, and you like all of them, the choice is suddenly a lot more difficult. And so if you have a few words to choose from, pretty easy to say what you want to say. But if you have 50,000 different words, like elated and ecstatic and all of these crazy things that you can say to say basically the same emotion, it becomes more difficult. I mean, you can fine-tune what you're saying and express better what you're saying, but it becomes more difficult to say what you want to say if you don't know those words, if you don't have the greatest vocabulary such as I. It's probably what I'm getting at with this, is that I have a terrible vocabulary. It does its job well, I just think it's a sucky job, and sometimes it makes things a little more complicated, not with the expressing of ideas, but probably with thinking about how to express those ideas. I hope that was a little bit more clear. If not, I apologize, just ignore me. Otherwise, I don't really have much else to say. Sorry. My mind is kind of in a frazzle right now because people going to VidCon have me stressed out about going to VidCon next year. I don't think I'll be going, honestly. There's like a negative chance that I'll be going. But it's getting me stressed out anyways. It's becoming apparent to more and more people that I have anxiety issues, and that's not good. So my mind is in a huge frazzle right now. I can't really think straight many times. So I don't have much else to say. I agree with what people were saying, what Katie said on Thursday, and what James said, and what Spencer said. And I don't really have anything else to add, so I apologize, Katie. Oh, you're gonna hate me so much for this, but I really have nothing else to say. Although I do hope that James and Spencer have a fantastic time with all the other people that are going to VidCon, and I hope we get to see some of that footage soon. And yeah, that's that's it. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Katie. So Katie, I will see you tomorrow.